Mark here from Eden Beach Pilates, and let's talk pelvic floor health. Now, some women may experience the urge to go, and that can be on a daily basis, or sometimes it might be activities that trigger what we call a stress leakage, which could be jumping, running, skipping, coughing, or even sneezing during a flu season, or if you have a slight cold. These symptoms are very, very common, but the good news is they're very, very treatable as well. And it's good to catch them early. The last thing you want to do is head down the surgery route. However, even if you've had surgery before for the pelvic floor, whether it's a graft or a sling, there are some solutions you can do to still strengthen that pelvic floor in order for you to get the best optimal health in the pelvic floor area. Now, whether you're male or female and you are having symptoms of incontinence, or whether you've got weakness or you just feel that your pelvic floor, your TA, which is all connected, which is your transverse abdominals, if you feel that there's weakness there, then this is for you. Here I have my pelvic floor model, and as you can see, the pelvic floor muscles sit inside the pelvis, just like so. Now, there are three main muscles, and there's a group of muscles in here, but the three main muscles here, they control, number one, your ability to turn your pee on and off. Number two, for women, the vaginal wall contraction, and number three, for both men and women, the rectum, which sits at the rear here. Those are the three muscles, and all three muscles contracted together is what we call and we refer to as a Kegel. Inside here, we'll have your bladder that sits on the front, womb, rectum at the back. And over time, what happens is that muscle starts to weaken. And this, as you call it, let's say a hammock, starts to sag. And what this leads to is the lack of control on the bladder. It also leads to prolapse and can lead to dysfunctions in the rectum as well. Now, there are some invasive procedures that require what they call a TVT, or it's a transvaginal tape, which actually can be in the form of a sling or a graft, where they lift the bladder to relieve the pressure. There are ways that you can train your pelvic floor to tighten those muscles up and essentially lift the hammock back up. And those ways can be far more effective in the long term to avoid surgeries that can lead to complications in the long term. So there you have it, just a little bit of information on the pelvic floor and why it's so important to look after that muscle like any other muscle in the body. If you're not using it, you're going to lose it. And over time, that muscle will weaken and these symptoms can catch you off guard. So the real focus is to make sure you are training those muscles and working those muscles to avoid any of these symptoms in the future. You can have very good pelvic floor health.